for you.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
This impedimental, combustible, and volatile lemma, in its maximum exoneration, reminds me of the biblical Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. What germinated the abnegation and repudiation? What an academic mwahaha, academic yo-ho-ho, caused by these political yo-yos, political yobos, in their leadership rococo, leadership rababaration, in conjunction with administrative bemusement, holy poly, and discombobulation, in their obstreperous, malevolent shenanigan and hocus pocus agenda. Your boo-boo has poo-pooed into your business. The bifurcation and abdication of the vision in the name of honorificability to the nitatibus, just to score cheap political points. Then floxina sini hilipilificating. You see, the stilty, politicals of torrent rodomotates and defalcators that you and I know, the lab annotation of their eleemosinaries, ostentatious and libidinous lifestyle, shows that they are out. Oh, obliteration, mutilation, decapitation. Say no to this academic bantigism, academic noctambulism, and academic malocclusion, which their children are not part of.
It is appalling. That is the reason I've been in a compendious, laconic lacuna, not a recapitulation. But let me tell you this, that it is Leka and pulchritudinous, that in a legotla, in an imbizo, flagitious and enervating lematas were excogitatedly ruminate how the recidivistical politicals move from budget disappearance to budget doctoration. Now we are faced with a debilitating, exasperating thing with a financial lobotomization. But I pray that this will not ignite a clamorous remonstration. Now, come to think of it, how dare they deplete the citizens of their obstreperous and vociferous modus vivendi? Enough of this vilification and solipsism. This is execrably pugnacious, pestilential, and attenuating. Imagine the imbibition of the political rodomontates, which has kept us in an abject ululation. Why? This is sardonic, opprobrious, malevolent, contumelious, erroneous, lugubrious, and exasperating. What a political baloney. What a political ballyhoo. What a political bunkum. Balderdash and hogwash. At this point, I will borrow the words of the great sesquipedalian logomanian, that it is crystal clear, like the biblical menemeneteke you've seen, that this administration has no blueprint on socio-economic matters. But I will advise you to tell Mr. President that following his antecedent and pedigree, we know him, he can do better. Tell him to do better. But at this point, we will not koto in their poho. That is what you get when the hobo, pejoratively hobnobs with the hobgoblin, have been bamboozled, razzle-dazzled, razzmatazz politically. Where I said he was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a way of saying the president was fantastic. But his political enemies said he was suffering from what I describe as new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. It's a word that is supposed to be called silicosis, meaning a lung disease. But in search for the longest word in the dictionary, they pep it up to become a 45-letter word, which is new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Sententious, inarticulate, and uncommunicative on this act of recidivism, which is the verisimilitudinous xenophobic attack on my consanguinities, thinking it is a path to honorificabilitudinitatibus. Honorificabilitudinitatibus is a verbal prolixity, a sesquipedalian word, a state of achieving honors. Yes, you see, the vilification, language, jejun, wobicon, an obstinate conspiracy, melancholy that led to this cartel, nauseous, and miasmatic vituperative attack. This is barbaric and megalomaniacal. My pain is this. But I've refused to act. What a devitalizing, a petrifying, and a desiccating situation. To me, the belligerent, deleterious, cantankerous, and murderous annihilation, decapitation, obliteration, and mutilation of my consanguinity in their milieu is sardonic, opprobrious, malevolent, contumelious, erroneous, lugubrious, and clamorously exasperating. This is erotic, vivacious. This is voluptuous. Who is this clamorously glamorous and a felicitous latitudinaria? Could she be a Vigo in Tata or a Tyro? Immaculately, a corroboration of a captivating and a charming. Oh my God! This is sonorous, salubrious, and a revivalistic resonate. Let's make this moment reactivationistic, tenacious, and agglutinative. Pardon my manners, I am not a twaddler, but a logomaniac, a sesquipedalian, a rooting tooting, benevolent and not malevolent, a prodigy, a coruscate, an enigma, a virtuoso who doesn't believe in the male chauvinism. And I reside in a collocation of the intellectual bulldozers, not mediocres. I am not into malebranchism. I am only here to stir up your emotional rococo and scare away the yobos for me to fall into lustration with this voluptuous, erotic, and vivacious inamorato. Never mind, I unleash my grandiloquence and vocabularies in chain, like the organic molecules, reminding you of the movement of your slowpogans in the days of the Alaquata Main. What? My amorousness, gregariosity, avariciousness, and cupidity has led me into the transcendental and transamination of this inoculated concupiscence, where I saw my consanguinity's advice has been vituperative, contumelous, and contumacious. Oh, what an irreparable relegation. Oh, yes. No, it reminds me of the biblical Eloi, Eloi, Lama Sabachthani and the musical Emi Demi Semi Quaver. Oh, could it be melodramatic? Could it be mendacious, meretricious, rather veracious? Now I'm in a limbo and quandary. What an emotional perturbation. What a petulant and venomous egoistic deflection. I thought I have found my Val. Oh, now I have to kowtow in this poho. I must kowtow in this poho.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
The creator and sustainer of the universe we can help but bless his holy name. He is so good, so faithful, so kind. Above all, his providential presence is felt. Hence, we can only bless his holy name. He is good. He is faithful. He is the God Almighty. There is no God greater than him. There's no name that surpasses his name. He is that God who stays with us, always with us, never leave us, hovering. Kings 88.5 as an institution and every individual member making up the family of Kings 88.5. He is the God who always stayed with us. We get started in thanksgiving unto his name, in gratitude, just as the one leper will return in gratitude to say, thank you. We acknowledge all that you've done for me. You stay with me. Stay with me.
Just hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing me. The nights are long, the road is cold. Sometimes I lose the faith I hold, but every tear I cry, you see, you never walk away from me. When I fall down, you pick me up. You pour your love inside my cup. I don't need silver, I don't need gold. Just keep my heart inside your home. Jesus, stay with me when I'm weak. When I'm weak and I can't see. When the storm is all I feel. Storm is all I feel. Lord, just stay with me. 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 I walk through doubt. I walk through fear. But still I know you're always near. No matter what tomorrow brings, your mercy still my spirit sings. Yes, Lord, he's faithful. Even if I lose my way, don't let me drift too far away. Hold me close, don't let me go. You're the only peace I know. Stay with me. You're the breath inside my need till I reach eternity. Oh, Jesus, stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Oh, don't ever leave. Stay with me.
Yes. Stay with me. In the midst of it all, God is with us. He never leaves. He said as Jeremiah, even if your mother can forget to breastfeed you, even if your father can forget, even just anybody can forget, I would never ever. Good afternoon, people. Thank you all for coming on. We appreciate all of you. You are so great, so marvelous, so massive. We are inspired by your presence as always. Joseph Murphy, 72nd. Yes, that is true. Hold on to that. Asata Miller, Red Line. Royal Always Val. Henry T. Toll Jr., Caldwell. Rich Alfred Johnsonville, Sekou Donzo, Australia. Samuel Pejila Sastown, Bombing County. David Williams, Colorado, USA. Malu Johnson, that's Malu Johnson. Philip Topa, great. Stanley Bozo, Congress City. Paris Lobot, USA, New Jersey. Boakat Zodua, Mecklin Street, Waterside. Navarros M. It's been a very long time. I hope that you are faring well. Well, been thinking about you, but it's good to see you. a grand crew. But your what is Grand Crew going to the finals? Okay, that's great. That's good. Wish you well. Wish you people victory. Yeah, it's on the final. Is on Sunday. Yes, Navarro's the final is on Sunday. Sunday is finals day and big games day. The county meet final Sunday, and then the African Cup of Nations final on Sunday. The world's greatest team, FC Barcelona, will be playing on Sunday. Oh, Sunday, the football day for us. Oh, we'll be shuttling between those games. I don't know which one would start first. I think the county meet will start first. I think the county meet will start first. I think it's at 4. Not too sure. Don't take my time as being absolute. But I think it will start before, and then the African Cup of Nations, it will be around 7. Not too sure with the time on that, but it's between 7 and 8. But I am setting because that's my team. That's the only team that I study all through, FC Barcelona. That is at 8 o'clock Sunday evening. So yeah, we'll be between those 3 games. Oh, Navarro's. That's it. Yeah, I think I heard something that you're trying to bring Zidane back, that Florentino Perez called Zidane into Spain to have a meeting with him to take over Real Madrid again because the team is drowning. I hope so that your team will be competitive. But it's good to see you, Navarro's M. Hope that you are faring well and all is okay. God bless you for everything that you have done and continue to do. The friendship. Thank you so much, individual and institution. Augustus D. Johnson, Boystown, Gamunta McIntosh, Gaytown, O'Rourke, Harris City, New Georgia Caldwell, your residence, Saturday Wooded Ware, Musa A. Sharif, New Georgia, Gardnersville, Ruben Say, Divine, Yellow Building, RIA. Oh, you get Yellow Building. You also have Yellow Machine Building, Benita Ndebi, Johnsonville Store. Abraham DG Flomo. My dear sister, thank you ever so much. You are so good, so special, so extraordinary. Orita Sunday Way Choir, thank you ever so much for everything. And thanks for the pieces of advice. Hope that you are faring well. Also, as Navarro's M. Brilina Warrens, USA. Rita Christine Hates, Massachusetts, USA. Orita Jikla, you are on. Jukonti Chie, you are on from your business center. Usman Sol, your business center, Galley Street, Morovia. Then the chairman, as always. The chairman for life, the one and only chairman, the chairman who is making head waves in his community, a die-hard supporter of George Weah, Roma Rico, Kenneth Ball, for short, the only chairman. The man not running, the man does not have political ambition, but the man is very impactful in his community. It is my understanding, as I said yesterday, he installed internet for the people to know what is unfolding wherever they are. They just gathered, use the internet. He does the payment and every other thing. Their responsibility is to make use of it. That's good. So that is a CDC project. It's a CDC project right there. So when George Weah is not the only person with projects, but individual citizens can point to projects. And that's what you people who have not had projects yet, because these are some of the things, one of the weapons we are going with into 2029. Besides identifying George Weah projects as president, your own project, meaning take on initiatives in the community, just as this sedition in Roman Rico, Kenneth Ball, or Latupan for short, the one and only chairman, install internet. And it is my understanding other initiatives coming. So gradually, because listen, going into 2029, we'll not just be talking 2029 with Paul Boaga or 2029 with vote the man or 2029. That one, it already said, as I told you, it there. They did. It there. But you have to be doing things to get other people joining you to vote Boaga out. So when you put something in a community that is so good, that it's impactful, it can touch people's life. Guess what? Even if that person is a Unity Party person, they will turn in your direction. That what in politics they call swaying vote, changing the person thinking, changing the person mindset. So as we're talking, then we're acting. So it's what the chairman, what Roman Rico, Kenneth Ball has done in his community. He put internet there, say you'll be brassing. All the things in a simple political psychology, getting closer, he's thinking about another thing again. So by the time we're getting closer to 2029, guess what? All the people in the area, all the people, they're going for CDC. They're going for George Weah. Simple political strategy. Life is all about innovation, how you think. And that is good. That is good. And I thought, given the how important it is and how it's going to touch a number of people, take people from Unity Party to encourage all of us to do that. The same in your community. Don't wait for the representative. If the representative can do, just think of something. That's what life is. Just think of something that you can do. Something that will impact a person, 2, 3, 4. Think of something that can change the atmosphere where you are. That is called individual or community initiative. It can make a great difference, rather a big difference. Don't overlook it. Don't say you're waiting for 2029. Whatever you can do now to convince people, just as Senator McGill said, reach out, get out, talk to people. In the same vein, when you have any ability to do whatever to keep the people focused on George Weah, not just your people. The target should be people who are not seditions, people who didn't vote for George Weah, people who did not have the voting age at that time, people who are reaching the voting age 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Those should be your target. Come up with something creative. Why are you talking 2029? We'll take Boaga from there. They are saying 2029, we are not coming back. But that we are not coming back, they're working. They're not just saying it and sitting. They are working. Equally, when we say it's coming back, or 2029, remove Boaga, we got to be doing something. So the people will be convinced. That's how you convince people. That's what politics is all about. Let's get to some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Then we focus on what we have. Then we are out. You already know what is unfolding in Uganda there. The government has denied claims that opposition leader Bobi Wine has been placed under house arrest following the elections. Police spokesperson said Bobi Wine is being protected because he is not an ordinary citizen, adding that the police presence outside his home and restrictions on his movement are for security reasons. The dispute comes as early as election results show President Yoweri Museveni leading by a wide margin as he seeks to extend his nearly 4-decade rule. The vote followed a tense campaign marked by internet shutdown, technical problems at polling stations, and allegations of repression. These you must guard against going into 2029 here in Liberia. Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has given her Nobel Peace Prize medal to U.S. President Donald Trump during a meeting at the White House as a recognition for his unique commitment to what she calls their freedom. Donald Trump praised the gesture, though the Nobel Committee had said the prize itself cannot be transferred. A White House official confirmed that Donald Trump intends to keep the medal. The meeting comes weeks after U.S. forces captured Venezuela leader Nicolas Maduro and brought him to New York to face a series of charges related to drug trafficking and weapons possession conspiracies. An American company, Pay Services, has filed a lawsuit in the U.S. against the Democratic Republic of Congo and several top officials. The firm says it invested over $72 million in a project to modernize the country's banking system, but refused alleged bribe demands. It claims the contract was then sabotaged and breached. Pay Services is seeking $17 million in damages plus reimbursement of its investment. The Congolese government denies the allegations, saying the company misrepresented itself as a bank and that the project was halted to protect public funds. And Nigerians will pay a 7.5 value-added tax on some banking services, including mobile transfers, USSD transactions, PSO fees, and card issuance from January 19. In a notice to customers, a Nigeria digital banking and payments company said the tax is required by government and will be remitted to the Nigerian Revenue Service. The company stressed that it aids a bank fee increase and that interest on savings and deposits would not be taxed. Consumer groups have condemned the move as cruel, saying it represents double or even multiple taxation, and warn that legal action may follow if the policy is not reviewed and reversed. You know, if not all of you, but very many of you know what is unfolding in Uganda. We are not close to Uganda, but those incidences or those acts that are unfolding in Uganda are acts that you cannot outrightly, or you cannot rule out outrightly that they can happen here. They can. We will hope that they do not, or we don't experience it, but you have to take note of these things. Take note of these things. I am highlighting these in twofold. One, based on the importance that you need to know, the gravity. Two, we've got elections ahead of us, and these are undesirable characteristics. Hence, you have to be in the know, be exposed, so that when you see these things happening, you will know what to do. Those are the two reasons that I bring these things. So the African is just African by any standard of Africanness from power perspective. This man had been in power for almost, if not 40 years. He ran first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and now he's on a seventh stretch, amending the constitution along the way so that he will continue to stay in power. How Africa have had and continue to have bad image. Africa and African presidents. 40 years in power, what do you want? What is it that you want to prove again? What is it? Sometimes leaders just need to lead with this maxim. Get in, get it done right, and get out. And you will have the time again to come back, because it gives you that space to sit and look back over your life as president, what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, that you had wanted to accomplish, and when you get back, how are you going to accomplish it? And nobody you can tie that philosophical maxim around. An epitome of African and global democracy than George Weah. George Weah could have stayed on. George Weah had everything available to him as a sitting president to stay on. There was nothing, absolutely nothing, that George Weah, president, in his capacity as president, could not hold on to power. He had everything at his disposal. Everything. And the world was watching, because the world knows, the West and America knows how African presidents will always want to tighten their grip on power. So with the 2023 elections, coupled with what Unity Party people were saying, that George Weah will rig the election, that Weah has brought in people, that Weah has trained a specific armed group, mercenaries, to hijack power, which was not the reality, but they were portraying it that way so that America, the rest of the international communities or countries making up the international community will just think that, yes, this George Weah man has that instinct. He will want to hold on. Only for George Weah to demonstrate before everybody the philosophical maxim. He got in, he got it done right, he's out. He now has the space, the time, the right now to get back. It is against this maxim or this African nature of holding on to power in George Weah relinquishing power democratically, using no autocratic, no dictatorial, no despotic mechanism, constitutionally, democratically turned over, that the whole world was surprised. So much so that he was given this accolade of acknowledgement. Please, I want you to listen. Hear what the guy said. He said, even though he had all the options as a sitting president, If George Weah wanted to, he could have been still as the president. But he said to himself, in himself, of himself, by himself, what would it profit me? I have time in my favor. I have age in my favor. I have the people by me. There's everything I have. Anytime I can make a comeback. Turn it over to Job Walker. Have a listen.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy.
Did you get it? George Weah had everything. This is one of several clips that the international community bow to George Weah and say, thank you. We had thought, we had this uneasiness within us that you are going to hold on. And our uneasiness, based on what we have seen of other presidents, African presidents, that held onto power. You hear what the guy say? Why he arguably had options as a sitting president. Why did they inside that? They know. They've seen it of African presidents. Yoweri Museveni, what is he doing now? It's because he is a sitting president. Everything that he's doing, he has created an intimidatory atmosphere. Uganda is chaotic. The National Elections Commission is afraid. Vast majority of the people attempted to go his way. Though Bobby Wine is making airwaves popular of the people amongst the people, just like George Weah is popular here, that's how Bobby Wine is in Uganda. And as a certain president, he said, no, if we don't create something, this boy will win me. So as a certain president, he's using all of the options available to him. Though he's frail, he has aged, but he's still tightening his grip on power in Uganda. He has created this intimidatory atmosphere everywhere. Disappearance of people, in jailing, arrest, chaos in the street here and there. Everything just upside down. And he's in a commanding lead. He's in a commanding lead. What am I saying? African presidents just have to emulate or get into the Democratic Leadership School of George Weah. Peter Mutharika, he left the presidency. He did a sober reflection. Some of the people in Uganda, they said he wasn't coming back, just as they are saying today that George Weah isn't coming back. But he gave himself time. He did a sober reflection. And when the time came, Peter Mutharika is back in the presidency. You just need to say, fine, let me take a breather. That means to take a relax back. Look back over your life. Look back over your leadership. Look at where you made progress, where you had slow progress, unfinished business, vision. And then you are in a good position for a comeback, just as George Weah is in a good position for a comeback. But if you would think it's your personal property, 40 years, you're going beyond 40 years. You want to be in power until 50. And age and power, they are not connected. Age and power are not Siamese twins. There is a disconnect between age and power. You can envision staying in power for 50 years, but age cannot allow you. If age and power were Siamese twins, very many of those presidents who die in office, they weren't going to die. You want to save time and energy for the next day, meaning the next election, as George Weah is getting ready. Africa has to emulate their example. They have to enter the school. African presidents have to enter the school of democratic leadership and turnover of George Weah. Do you know that George Weah has a university for that? Do you know? Oh yes, George Weah has a university. His university is global. His university from African perspective is African leaders. Some African leaders, not all, some African leaders who know how detrimental it is to stay in power ever so long, and they are not in support of that theory. They are in the school of George Weah, meaning they have learned from him. What George Weah did in Liberia is unprecedented. People have never believed that. Look at most of the African countries. Sorry, please, it's not the normal. It's just once in passing, accept my unprofessional act, accept my bias, what it is, but just want to be descriptive instead of paraphrasing word for word. At what time did Donald Trump, in his first term, refer to African countries as shithole? It was just at the time when African presidents, go back into history, they were holding on. There were coups here and there, and all of them. It was not solely on trade and other things or being subservient to America. It was also at that time you have this other country president holding on, coup has taken to this place, and all of that. And Donald Trump just gave that raw description, whether he thought about it right or not, and said the continent is a shithole continent. Meaning no organization but obsession for power and wealth and money instead of focusing on development. George Weah has a school, a university. The African presidents are learning from in their conversation They don't have the discussion without making reference to the transition in Liberia. They use Liberia as a model. They use it as a model. Do you know that vast majority of the people here too, they never thought that we was going to democratically buy out to get ready for a comeback? Not only the people out of Liberia, not only countries, not only America, not only European countries and European leaders and citizens. That today, in their discussions, any discussion on Constitutional Day, Democratic, that electoral day, they will always reference Liberia, and what name pops up? George Weah. That is George Weah University. That is his university. University or school is not necessarily the structure. It's the idea, the innovation. In the days of old, the people never had campuses as we have today. When you hear the school of Plato, the school of Aristotle, it was not a building that they would sit down on. They would just get on a giving tree where they had little shade. And then the idea, the different theories and other things, it came out. And then people are just getting exposed, educated, and spreading what they've learned from those veterans. What we call education is the same as school. School is the same as university. It means any idea that one takes in. What we have before us is George Weah University of democratic leadership vis-a-vis turnover or transition. If that wasn't true, you would not have African leaders, European, American people referencing George Weah. All of us know in this country how they still see George Weah. When they come to this country, they make sure they see George Weah. They don't go to discuss any other thing besides the leadership. Why? They saw leadership in him, what he did. When President Bouaga came to power, and then there were ups and downs here, and there all kinds of things were happening. They did not go to Joseph Yuma Bouaga. They went to George Weah. Now, when you see things like that, they are telling you, look, in this man whom we are going to, we see leadership. We see maturity. That in crisis, this man can bring solution. And we're saying it. Hence, we should follow this man. We should go to speak to this man. This man has wisdom. That's university right there. That's it. You don't have to hold on, stay in power 30 years, 40 years. You don't want to die in it. You want to get in. And this you go for people everywhere, whatever the position you're in. It does not have to be president. But any position you're in, once you have served, you have reached your elasticity, you get out. You can regroup preparatorily to get back when the need arises for that. And God in heaven himself will be supportive of you. God will be your first voter on the line. 2029, watch it. You may think I'm sounding comical, but this is the reality. God will be the first voter on the line for George Weah, based on what I've just explained to you. I cannot tell you how many people in the very Bible that God gave us were in leadership. They left, others came in, they realized they found time to come back. And God supported them in their comeback. That's why you need not overlook that statement, turning setback into comeback. Let's have a listen. I can compare the reign of Yoweri Museveni, the atmosphere in Uganda, to 1997 Charles Taylor coming to the presidency. I hold to the conviction that Charles Taylor's ascendancy was never democratic. It was all imposing, intimidatory atmosphere as we see. no candidate will normally just threaten the head of the National Elections Commission, saying not even the angels in heaven can save you. Meaning, if you don't put it in our favor, if you don't give me that election, no part of this world you will go, because angels are all over. They protect from all over mysteriously. So he was saying that he was above God, that G. Harry Andrews went anywhere, he would still die. Besides, if he escaped and he, Charles Taylor, unable to get hand on him, his entire family would die. Now you call that thing Democratic election. Charles Taylor got that number, that high figure, because of the atmosphere he created. Charles Taylor created that intimidatory atmosphere. The same thing you're saying in Uganda. So all of those that constituted the National Elections Commission then were afraid that if they didn't give this election to Charles Taylor, they would die, or their families would die. The same thing in Uganda. The head of the Electoral Commission is not doing what he's doing in favor of Yoweri Museveni because everything is right, but because he fear for his life and that of his family. Have a listen to him. Let's get a few excerpt from him.
This morning, distributed to all the 739 polling stations to enable polling to start on time across the country. However, the Commission received reports shortly after of failure of some biometric voter verification kits, or BVV, that were deployed to support or facilitate the verification and identification of voters at all the said polling stations. Accordingly, the Commission took the decision and they guided all returning officers that where a BVVK fails to start, the voting process should commence immediately using the National Voters Register in accordance with the electoral laws and guidelines so as not to disenfranchise any voter. This decision was informed by the fact that the failure of the BVVK in some polling stations was not, in our view, sufficient ground to subvert or stifle the power of the people in electing their leaders. That power is secret and supreme, whereas it was our great desire and expectation that the said kits work wherever they were deployed. The fact of their failure did not water down the unquestionable right of the people of Uganda to exercise their constitutional power under Article 1 of the Constitution to choose leaders of their choice in a free and fair election, provided the exercise of doing so was in line with the existing framework. And guide and direct that the elections take place, provided the voters are sufficiently identified using the polling registers that were availed at every polling station, which polling registers are derived from the National Voters Register, and which data is uploaded or was uploaded and fed onto the biometric voter verification kits. So in light of that fundamental record, which is recognized both in the Constitution and the other acts of Parliament, It was deemed, therefore, crucial and vitally important that polling or voting proceeds so as to give the people of Uganda their deserved right to elect leaders of their choice.
That's the head of the Electoral Commission of Uganda just before the start of the vote on yesterday. It is a tense atmosphere there in Uganda. Bobby Wine will have to concede defeat because all of the electoral and political odds are against him. Though he has the people, he actually has the people, but do not have the political machinery. That advantage is to Yoweri Museveni. Please keep your eyes open. Don't just shout and scream. Be observant. Some of these characteristics, I'm not saying they will happen here, but what I do know in life, signs are indicators of a potential or something that will happen. So you don't overlook. And that is the typical characteristics or the core characteristics of God. God never works without sign. He works with sign. When he is about to move, you will see the sign. When he is about to act, you will see the sign. He does nothing without sign. That is what is onto the earth. These things are political signs, though they are not unfolding in Liberia. We've got 4 years ahead of us, but these are things that you need to keep your heart, eyes, and mind on. That will be doing it. So I think that's what we have for today. Oh, so we have a teaser here. Somebody reminded me of this in broadcast. There's something called attribution. And it's not only in broadcast, it's all over, everywhere. Everywhere. Attribution means it is not your initiative. It is not your idea. It is not your intellectual property. It's nothing of you. It's another person. So give the person that credit. Tell the people that it is this person's idea. Don't take it like your personal property. Unlike Unity Party people, to attribute what they had to George Weah, who initiated it, who started it, they will present it like Joseph Yuma Bwaga was the one. And that bad thing. When Unity Party people telling you that they can never bring it to us as journalists, I dare and challenge any Unity Party person with saying something, and then they say, oh, why you never give the attribution? And you people will tell you why you never gave the attribution to George Weah. Oh, yeah. Everything, all of the projects that they own, George Weah initiated. The law say once it is not your making, once it is not your initiative, it is not your idea, it's somebody, and you're using that or you're going on it, you must tell the people that this person initiated it. It is this person's idea, that what they call attribution. So what I'm about to talk about, that I'm my own thing. Somebody brought this out and shared it with me, and I still remember, because none of us they're thinking in that direction. And when the person brought it up, I said, oh, yeah. Yeah, it was after the show. Let me give credit to one of our diehard followers, Rita Christine Hitch. After the show, she brought that to my attention that Joseph Walker prophecy coming to pass. Well, as was the prophecy, I said, oh, yeah, that's true. GMB prophecy fulfilled. Yeah, thank you, retired Christine Hayes, for that idea. So Joe Boakai, couple of months, was it in 2024? There's something that unfolded first in the United States government. Was it a TPS or something? And before this diaspora issue, people coming to Liberia, then I think it was just around similar or same. And then Boakai came out, and that went far and wide. He was criticized, he was condemned for making such unruly statement, undesirable statement to his own people. So I think he said that instead of sitting in America, pleasurizing, instead of coming back to Liberia to help their country, they're sitting out in America, they're doing nothing. And Donald Trump was coming for them. So what Rita explained, I say, right, that's true. You get it. Boakai said it. So the Boakai a prophecy unfolding so. But that is not a talking point, it's just a teaser. Yeah. All right. So let's talk this as quickly as I can. Is 6 minutes after 4 o'clock, 4:30 is for you people, 1 hour or less than that. Then we are out for today, Friday. So we got to go do our 10 around 2. Yeah, because throughout the week we sacrifice it unto you. So when we finish now, we got to go do our, how they call it in Liberia? Say 1 2 1 2. Oh, LIV. All right. This is serious, people. I've been observing this for a while now. Why some parents, some Liberian parents are negligible of their parental responsibility? If you look at our society, you will find majority of the men and women with this negligible or don't care attitude. Only when something happened to their boy or girl, then they tend to portray themselves as being a serious parent or a concerned parent or parents. Single parent, don't care. Most of the single parents, I should say it this way, most of the single parents don't care, reckless. Most of the parents don't care, reckless. There is this expression they always using or use it as justification. They say this time children there, they had to take care of. They get their own way. Have you not heard most? You find this with coming from most women. If you look at society, you find that it's weighing on society heavily. Majority of the boys and girls who are left loose because of the parent or parents don't care attitude become liability on society. And it is a serious impact. It has a weight on government. It has a weight on the commerce or the economy of the country. Yeah, how you understand it simply. I think that's the best way I can bring it to the simpler form. Assume you're in a given community, and that community is made up of 500 persons. Of those 500, you find majority boys, girls, the rest, they are the parents and parents. And they are doing nothing. Parents don't care. Parents don't care. They are left to the street. They are left to do what they want to do. They have no skill, no training, no education. What becomes of them? They not help to society. It is society now that or be of help to them. So you find people, young girls, they're in the ghetto, young boys, young girls, not in the ghetto, but on the other side, asking people for assistance, young boy, or you just see them everywhere. Attempt to say anything of a piece of advice. Hear what you hear from that woman. The children are coming up now. The children that were born in, and the children they had to deal with. The children get their own way. So that way, or she will simply be using that as a justification why they have no control. Instead of acknowledging that my son has gone loose because I came out loose. My daughter is a liability on society because I have never imputed the kind of discipline that she needed to have. The next thing that you see from a liability perspective on society, because of the negligible or don't care attitude of most of the parents, the schooling. I consider that schooling. Schooling is any idea that you share. When you sit in a classroom, the teacher or professor comes sharing idea with you. What the teacher is doing is he or she is schooling you. It's taking out an idea or what you don't have and putting in what you ought to have, or taking out an idea that is undesirable and putting in an idea that is desirable. It depends on the situation. The school, look at it. Most of the girls coming up between 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Why you think they're dressing the way they're dressing? It's not because it is the society, the pattern of the society. And when you're saying society, you're saying people. So it's because the girl is in the house with the mom. She sees the mother wearing short trousers. She sees the mother drinking. What happened? What the mother is doing gradually, the mother is indoctrinating her. She goes to the club with the mother. Instead of the mother saying stay, she goes, the mother allows her to go to the club together. They do almost everything together. What is that? Indoctrination. When that gets chronic in that girl or that boy, what happened? That girl, that boy become a predator, and it becomes experimental predator. Experimental predator is where you take the person in a lab, or you take the thing in a lab, you start doing all kinds of things, training it, nurturing it. At a certain point in time, it becomes independent and it goes loose. You want to subdue it, to control it hard. You can't make it go on. That's what you see. So they will continue to complain that, oh, distant children hard to deal with. Distant children just lose. That is not true. That is not true. Some of you women who have the negligible act, you just need to sit down and think and make a decision. Most of them would think saying that way, then it is the reality with all women or with all men. There are vast majority women who have brought up their boy, their girl, in a way that is right. That today, they are the joy of the parent or parents. Upbringing is the future. Upbringing determines. It ain't even determined. Let me say it this way. It is the future, because that's what God said. upbringing is the future. The kind of discipline, if you are loose, if you do not have the orientation, if you do not have the exposure, it is just impossible that person whom you have procreated or you have brought to earth, you cannot. Moreover, if the parent itself allow himself or herself to be trained by the street, meaning engaging into pleasure of all kinds, it is what that will be imputed into. And you see it, look at society all over. Look everywhere. Look everywhere. Another thing that you find that you see is weighing heavily on society, and it's weighing heavily on government. Unprecedented procreation, uncontrollable. 9 out of 10 young girls, 18, 16, 17, child or children. The boyfriend gone, sees it as too difficult of a responsibility to handle, escapes, or we bluntly look into the parent's face and say, Dana my belly, Dana, that baby not for me. And then what happens? The parent, now that parent, if it is a single parent, what happened? You know, then I think I know. Just do a careful observation of our culture. See, everybody, majority of, with the exception of few, majority of the parents have no control over their son, their daughter. Not that they could not have control, but they opted not to have control because they too did not have the orientation of the upbringing. When you get something, you can put it in another person. Or whatever you get, why you put in a person. Simple. It's weighing heavily. The mother is constrained to take in the child or children. It was in 2024 when I explained that story of with my sister Titi that sells in the community. She was selling, she's not selling that business again. She gone into politics now. When I saw the lady, that young girl with 3 children, I have gone to buy 2. So I was just standing and looking, observing. And then when the lady left, I just saw, I said, oh, that's your grandchildren. And she said, no, that the girl just go, she born, the boy run away, and she just, no fool. She will come here, and then I find something for her. You see that everywhere, everywhere. I cannot tell you, you see how young girls on a daily basis, young girl, able-bodied, nothing wrong, young girl begging. Please give me $5. Please give me $100. Please give me $150. I won't go eat. You see, young boys. You only look at it from a drug perspective. But look at it from the other side, not only the drugs. There are boys, girls taking drugs. Yes. But what's about the other ones who are procreating? In the next 3-4 years, you know what's going to happen? The population is increasing, yes. And if that continues, this country will not be able to cope. You know why China had to introduce such a restricted procreation law? It was based purely on economic factors. Look what we have in our society today. 9 out of 10 girls, 15, 16, 17, with children. As for the boyfriend, I know where he held. He run away. Who taking care of you? I am living with my man. See, the man too, he ain't get it. Why? Because the man started this whole pleasure thing then. So the daughter saw it too, join inside. Then the street start calling, gradually calling. Because when the street calling now, they won't listen to the man, they won't listen to the pie. Then when you hear, oh, mama, you put chair, yeah, and people gotta enjoy their life. So when I go, the next thing our daughter coming back, that pregnancy, man forced to take it. Man too ain't doing anything good. Part two ain't doing anything good. They sit in they become liability on society. See how they move. People move from office to office asking assistance, putting the problem. Look at look at the range, the age range. Not that there are people who are old and have not the strength, but young people, able-bodied, but the orientation. Because life is just like Google. Life is just like Google. Garbage in, garbage out. If you give good orientation, the right orientation to your boy, your girl, that's what you will get in return. Whatever the investment will be, the return you will get on that investment. Whatever the investment and discipline or upbringing is not on a silver platter. Most of the men, women, they don't project the future. As far as they're concerned, they're living. It's okay. The pleasure rising. This theory, this Epicurean theory, has taken over our culture. You know, the Epicurean theory, it came from the philosopher Epicurus. In his theory is, he said that life is good. Life is all about pleasure. You don't have to burden yourself with all kinds of things. Just focus on pleasure, amuse yourself, do whatever you can that will bring you joy, happiness, and all of that. Which is not bad, because how he saw it is not how it is today. And they will just be complaining. I hate to hear parents saying that thing, especially from women. Distant children hard to deal with. Distant children hard to deal with. So what happens? Distant children hard to deal with now. They kind of bring belly to them. Then they're complaining. You won't do nothing for yourself. You just say now you think you small boy, you think you small girl, you won't do nothing. Yeah, you bring pregnancy. Who will take care of that baby? Go look for your boyfriend. No, that you responsible. Because the girl saw you pleasure rising. You never set an example. You never set a stage that she will follow. You never set a life pattern example. You never set a future. You didn't. Yet you're complaining. You won't do nothing for yourself. Look at you, big girl like you. You're 17-year-old, you're going to 18. You think you're small girl? You won't do nothing. Nah. You get belly. That you will take care of that child. That you will take care of, you must go to the boyfriend play. No. Don't blame the girl. Blame yourself. Life is Google. Garbage in, garbage out. When you put in good thing, you will get good thing out. When you put in the right investment, you will get the right investment. God set life as fixed. The formula is fixed. You can't change it. You can change it. Every one of us, the three of us, Israel in the morning, Sam in the afternoon, Abby in the evening. We put every preparation. We put time, energy, discipline, just everything into the preparation. Before we get on the air, what we are doing, we are investing. At the end of the day, we get the return on the investment. That return is your satisfaction. You appraise us, and it gives you that zest to turn the next day to us. If we weren't, you will turn off and say, those people are not serious. That radio station is a serious radio station. That's what life is. The investment that you put, how you discipline, how you organize yourself, is what you get in return. Our society is bad off. The next 1, 2, 3 years is going to be 2. Already, our government, no plan in place for such, don't know how to do it. The population is increasing. The country cannot even tell you the number of young babies in the country from this time to this time. They cannot tell you. Look, just as we see in other countries, where you look, when you see system in other countries, you just want to fly from Liberia and go on that side. Even the number of taxes, let's take it out of that range. Let me go to the fiscal. The number of taxes on the street, the Ministry of Transport don't know. Least to say all of the cars in the Republic. Back to the social aspect. The parents have to sit down and now start to do a rethink. You will be happy for the child. Yes, your daughter is pregnant. Your daughter bringing child to you. But the boyfriend is not bringing in anything. The boyfriend is not investing. The burden is on you as a woman. The burden is on you as the man. You will now have to reorder priorities. And it will depend on the kind of person you are as a lady, whether you are businessing, as a man, whether you are working formally. If you are businessing, it depends also in terms of sustainability, what kind of business that you're doing. And you see that, look at some of the people that go to say nothing. You see young girls, and they're just passing all around with baby on their back. Yeah, the ball on the other side. Either he in football, in video club, he on football fee, or he will manage. They don't want to know how the baby eating, whether the man get good place to sleep, or they know the man. You hear someone say, like that, she will mommy. Now you can't blame the girl. You can't blame the boy. You blame the mother. Because the mother started with pleasure and the child learned by imitation. Children learn by imitation what they see of the parents. Let me close here. We'll continue next week. I have to give you people time. I was listening to a guy doing a lecture. Not those Nigerian people, then be no. I like the Western people. So he was talking about something life, the same thing around life. And he said in the 60s, no, he said he was born 1944. That was right. So he said his father used to take them to church. His father was a Baptist preacher. He used to take them to church. But he wasn't freak for church. But the discipline was there, which you admit. He's old now, I think, just imagine 1944. So he said one day they were in the living room and watching TV. And way back, it's not what we have today. That's the black and white. And they had this advertisement on this, how do you call it? The Marlboro cigarette. The advertisement were on. He said, and the father just got into the house, looked at the TV and saw that. And he said, immediately told him, he said, cut that off. Cut that off. And they switched the TV on. The TV off, rather. what the parent was doing, that it wasn't necessary to wash such an ad. By his reasoning, if they continue washing such ad, gradually they will be getting involved. Gradually. Technology can indoctrinate. Technology. Anything you watch all of the time, it's even advantageous or is contagious when the person is close to you. Like you see with the parents. They're sitting, they're close, they're drinking. The lady is drinking her style, her beer. This 15, 16-year-old daughter take one bottle. You only hear from the mother, why are you doing so? What kind of first kid thing you doing so? Your man drinking and drinking. That's all it was. That get drinking. So that way now, she thinks that she has the license or the right to get out. So when she's out in the midst of other people, she ready to accept because the mother approved it. But the mother will not be understanding the future consequences or liabilities. She comes home. I'm just fast forwarding everything. She comes home with pregnancy. Then the mother gets vexed. Or the boy, it reaches the father or the mother that we want to inform you. Yeah, thank you, Abraham 82. Inform you that your daughter, your son, are pregnant our daughter. We came to let you know, and we have decided that the girl be turned over. And you see that all over. You people have to be careful. You can tell. Instead of focusing more on education, which is the future, you see, even look at the number of girls, boys. Just look at them in a classroom. Look at them outside. Nothing. A girl claim to graduate or leave the university cannot do anything beyond that. All they know, they have the paper. It's because they concern themselves more with pleasure, relaxedness, than what Martin Luther King would say, burning the midnight candle to get the result. Serious problem for our society. The next 2-3 years, no. It will be hard. It will really be hard for the CDC government. I hope the CDC government coming into power 2029, I'll be looking at all of these social issues. But you can see the signs. The next 2-3 years, 4 years, this society will not be able to cope with the already strong and growing liabilities. Will not be able. All right. So that's it. At the weekend, we have to go. Thank you for being with us from Monday to today, Friday. You are so good, man. Great people. You clap for yourself. Great people. We love you people. You people are our inspiration, our strength, everything. Yeah. Thank you. Navarros. Yeah, good to see you, my man. Been thinking about you. Yeah. When they beat Real Madrid or Baraboo, I say, hey, Navarros. Yeah. That's good to see you. All of you great people. Rita Christine Hits, Orita Sunday Require, Emmanuel Bro, Claudie Allison, all of you great people. All of you great people, we are inspired by your presence. You people are so good. Okay. So let's go. Let's take few calls. Then we go home. It's the weekend. Saturday, we are joining us for Unleash Your Potential. Probably we might factor some of these into that. Let's take a few calls and then we are out for today. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 the women's line 9803 75 the numbers to have your say. Hello. I'm good, oh Chief.
Yeah, I've been monitoring your voice. It's all the things that you. Yes. One just away that should be happening to the girl.
You say what happened to the girl? You're explaining something about the girl. Did you say the girl passed away? Call back, my man. Call back. Your brothers and sisters want to hear that experience. Yeah. I think I heard him say the girl passed away. But Chief, I beg you, call back. Yeah. I showed that in network. I can't say your money done. I think that's the network. Yeah. So you can call back. Where my piece of advice? Where is it? Where is my piece of advice? Where is it? I misplaced the guy. Where is the piece of advice? Where is the guy? God, where is it? Okay. All right. Luis.
If you are going out, whether you are going to shopping, whether you are going to see your doctor, whether you are going to jog, whether you are taking your kids out to kindergarten, or you're going on a date, or church, or wherever you are going, please take along your passports. Take along your passports. For a long time, it has not been the tradition in America to take along your passports because the situation that exists right now did not exist before. If you want to be critical, if you want to be a typical Liberian who was born or lawyer from the time you left the maternity center, where every question you have to argue, you will have yourself to blame. Those of us who came to Europe and started out in Germany, we know that wherever we go, we have to take our passports along. That's normal day activities here. But we are not manhandled, roughed up, assaulted, and harassed like you are facing in the United States right now. So if you are Liberian, or if you are African, or whoever you are, if you were not born in the United States and you sound like me with an accent or look like me, please take along your passport. Because if you don't, you will have yourself to blame. This is a PSA from me because I love you and I don't want to see you hurt by anyone.
No, we are not. We would never ever. Anybody who thinks that you are stupid, they are stupid. Okay. So let's move on. We are returning to the presidency 2029. 2029. Yes, 2029. Now, the government, Unity Party people have always said that we has done nothing. 1. 2, we messed the country up. 2 contradictory statements. Listen carefully. We did nothing. We messed the country up. Where is the connect in terms of logic or reasoning? If the person did nothing, then how can they mess up? Because a mess up means to destroy. Moreover, it means what the person inherited destroyed everything. But we are inherited nothing but broken economy. We came and started his handprint and footprint. The country is a witness. Even though Unity Party, in its diabolical self, in his satanic nature, wouldn't admit, because only Satan would not admit to anything good. If you can admit to anything good by another person, you are Satan incarnate. Only Satan does that. What you see daily of Unity Party people refusing to give George Weah the credit, which we call in journalism attribution, is satanic. They know they are not in the skies. They are on earth. That earth called Liberia. George Weah did everything F Liberia. They know where all these things are. And they know they are developments. But because they have done nothing, they've got nothing to show, they see it as demeaning if they gave George Weah the attribution. Dr. Gabriel West, thank you for coming on, my dear. Dr. West, they refuse. But this is what it is in politics. A plus for George Weah added spice to George Weah's return. If you cannot admit, and nobody needs to tell Unity Party, and nobody will hope on Unity Party, it will make no sense, in my rational opinion, for anybody around George Weah to want Unity Party people to admit that George Weah has done X, Y, Z. Why? Because the reality speaks for itself. They are on the ground. Others can speak as they have been speaking about it. The international community knows. Donald Trump knows. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, knows. The Speaker of the House of Representatives of America knows. Everybody all over the know. French President Emmanuel Macron knows. The Italian Prime Minister knows. All the people around the world, all of the presidents and vice presidents and prime ministers, all of them know about George Weah's footprint and handprint developmentally. If Unity Party people not attributing to it, it's not a minus. It's not a defeat. No, it's an exposure of an evil conduct, an evil nature. They don't need to. These are available all over. Let me bring on Sister B. Sister B couldn't have done a better job. Sister B is a witness. Sister B is a practical testimony. George, we are not coming back. But they can tell you, have you ever one day heard them say that George Weah did not develop this country? They only say George Weah not coming back. And I have always told you, understand the statement this way. It means they are afraid of George Weah. They know that George Weah is a political heavyweight. They know that George Weah is a force. They know that they cannot defeat George Weah. They know that nobody in the Unity Party can defeat George Weah. They know that George Weah is the most popular person in this country. They know that the people resolve. They know that they don't have the numerical strength to do anything against George Weah. And they know that they can do nothing stupid to overturn anything in their favor against George Weah. They know all of that. So they will resort, as they have, to the mind game which we are exposed to. They don't need to say it. And you don't need to depend on them to say it. It's all over. Listen, if you don't tell your story, who do you depend on to tell your story? It is not the responsibility of the next person to tell your story. You tell your own story. And they know your story. If you can tell your story, they're not going to tell it for you. Even if they know you have a good story, a sellable story, a palatable story, they're not going to do it because they know that it will be demeaning to them and promotive of you. So you tell your own story, tell the people, let them know what you are, what you have done. Great initiative by those supporters of George Weah, who are everywhere telling the story developmentally of George Weah. They are making significant gains. They are shutting the mouths of Unity Party people who were running ahead. Now, look at one, you see a chair between. Yeah, Jeremy doing one. Yeah, Jeremy doing one. Come to think of it, you have a structure that takes between 9 months to 1 year, 2 years to go up. How can JMB in under 2 years build a structure that can go up in 1 year or 1 year, 6 months? Some of you seditionists and other people, you have to put reasoning to the table. All of those they're referencing, you want to ask yourself, but when the JMB, since let's take it for discussion's sake, to look at the clown, the fool in them by their reasoning or what they're portraying. Let's take it this way. When the JMB come to power, when the JMB break ground for this, if he is dedicating, can we see the time of the groundbreaking or the ceremony to get that off the ground? Because the start must be seen by you. The start must be seen, not the ending. When the start is seen, nobody wants to know the ending because there is every surety that the end will be the end. They cannot tell you that at this point in time, when JMB King, he went to this place, he broke ground to do this, and this is the building that is up. They can. All of those that they went around were things that were already dead. They were already there. Those structures were in the ground and still in the ground. So how can it be? You people have to tell your own story. We are telling the story of George Weah. It is our responsibility to tell George Weah's story. If you are a supporter of George Weah, if you are a member of his party, CDC, then you tell the story. It doesn't make sense to be depending on those people to tell your story. They will not tell your story. I go with the argument, I agree with the argument of attribution, and there where CDC officials can disagree with them and blast them. It is not that they're not telling, they ought to tell CDC story and they're not telling it. No, it's not what those CDCians are blasting them, going against them, exposing them. But refusal to give credit to a Liberian, a typical indigenous Liberian who put the structure in the ground, not foreigner. Why would it take you and say, we came in 2024, we made this structure there, we made that structure there, it was like this, we renovated, and we gave a credit to former President George Weah, who initiated it. What will it take from you? Does it stop you from being Joseph Yamabwala as president? Does it stop you from being institution, unity party? No, it only means that you are just a literate person, and it shows to some degree leadership. Where's my girl? Sister B, thank you very much. Let's have a listen to Sister B. Sister B, thank you. Let's have a listen to Sister B.
During the time of George Manneh Weah, these are the things that he did for the Liberian people. During the time of George Manneh Weah, these are the things that he did for the Liberian people, some of which were buried that the opposition or the other people don't want us to know about these wonderful things, because all we know that he did nothing. He wasn't doing anything. He was just concerned about himself.
Exactly,
no,
exactly, Sister B. That's what they said.
I tell you,
thank you.
These things that the former President George Manneh Weah have been doing in the country of Liberia when he was president during the last 6 years, some of which myself is just getting to know. Today, our topic here is
thank you, Sister B. You did extremely well.
George Manneh Weah did over the last 6 years. So this is a continuation of the last video that I did on some of the good things that the former President George Manneh Weah did in Liberia. So I come back with more and more information, more and more doings, more and more achievements, more and more accomplishment.
Congratulations to you, man. You are a citizen. Thank you. You are a good citizen.
But during his term, the country was peaceful. During the time of George Manneh Weah, there was no war in Liberia. Yeah, there was no people fighting in a certain corner in Liberia. There was no people fighting in the bush, because sometimes the president can be in power in the city and then back in the rural area or back in some counties and in the borders, you would hear fighting here and there, people fighting here and there, war coming, people want to overthrow, and then the president would be trying to fight and stop that while he's in power. But that was not done in the case of George Manneh Weah. He maintained peace and stability in Liberia. And he also paid for the WAEC, the West African Examination Test, for all of those students that were sitting for the WAEC during his administration. During his administration, no student paid WAEC fee. And some of us know how WAEC fee is. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy to get that WAEC fee. Some of us pass through that, yes. So if George Manneh Weah, let's say you have 2-3 students, 2-3 children that are taking WAEC for that year, you know how much it's going to be on you. You paying school fee and then you paying for WAEC. But George Manneh Weah, during his term, he did all of that. He paid for all of those WAEC fee that parents did not have to pay any WAEC fee for their students, for their children in school who were in the position to take the WAEC. In University of Liberia and all public university and colleges, community colleges around town, he declared free tuition. You see, So when people were going to school, they were not paying tuition fee. Like when I was in LU, I paid registration, I paid tuition fee, all of that. But during George Manuel Weah time, people were not paying. So that alone encourages people to go to school. Because when you pay the registration fee, then you have to look for the tuition to pay. But he sees all of that. Isn't that good? Yeah. And also, he declared free speech. So there were freedom of speech in Liberia through the passage of the KAK Press Freedom Act in 2018. And he also passed the domestic violence law, the law that protects women, men, children, and those that are involved in domestic violence. Yeah. So domestic violence was a crime in Liberia. And he also initiated the process that led to dual citizenship in Liberia. Because during that time, past then, there were lots and lots of argument about this dual citizenship in Liberia. Some people want to go back home. They can't go back home because when you go back home, the people are going to laugh at them. They say, oh, you're not citizen because you're citizen for other country. So you can't even hold position here. You can't even be part to vote. But he initialized it, and now today Liberia has dual citizenship. So you can be citizen other country. Once you're from Liberia, you are also citizen of Liberia. Liberia also accept that. That was true. This former president George Manuel Weah, and he did not stop there. He went into the communities. He went into the rural area. He built homes for these people that couldn't afford. They called it the poor homes into these communities. He went into the local area, those Swami area, those Dwalekli area there. He went into those places and built homes, poor homes that are comfortable enough, homes that you can live in, because there were some places in Liberia when you see that kind of living condition, oh my God, you feel so discouraged. But he went into those places, he changed their living condition by building them an upstandard home for them to live in. And they call those homes the proper home. And these were the places that he built those homes. Nukutan, Effie, Bon County, Grand Crew, Grand Jida, and other places. And this president, who is a man, not a woman, this former president, he constructed lots of marketplaces to give people venue, to give people a correct and a suitable places to go and showcase their products, to go and sell their goods, that they will have a place, a beautiful place, a comfortable place. Because when you sell, you go to sell, it's your job area, that they will be comfortable, they will have a good place where they spend their day, their time to sell their products. Some of these people, they market, that's what they depend on. The things they sell, that's what they depend on to take care of their children, their family, to send them to school. And he built marketplaces for these people. Douala Market, Dupo Road Market, Omika Market, Clevo Agriculture Market Hub, Oro Market, West Point, and other places. He builds markets for our market women, the men and the women, the boys and the girls, those that love to sell. He built places. Even when no marketplace were there and they were terrible, they were not in a good condition, they were not in a good state, he built a beautiful place for them. He built it, he renovated some of those places. He developed those places for them. Or he even built from foundation, from scratch to start for these markets, women and men. And he also, this was some of the things my friend and myself was talking about, the roads that he built. He also constructed some major highways, some major routes, and some local and bypasses in Liberia. Yeah, Ganta Sanikole, Ganta Signipia. Even if some of those roads were there, they were bad, they were damaged. But this president, this former president, he built those roads that you can travel on it smoothly. Sanikole Lakwato Bodo, Banga Salaye, RIA Extension, Coca-Cola EFW, go to all of those places. The roads that you see there, it was built by this ex-president. It was reformed by this ex-president. It was maintained by this ex-president. Yeah. The completion of Dixville Road, Simaka to Tusafi, Patient Shop to Ganave Town Hall, Marco Friends Road, Rehab Road Network, Jamaica Road to Lookington, Doe Community, Banjo. Banjo is where I come from. That's my area. He built this road, and I know Banjo Road, how Banjo Road looking. Yeah. And this man developed those places. What are you talking? In 6 years. Yeah. Dry Market to Johnsonville. For those of you that own that side, look there. Those roads, they were built by this former president. He developed it. Yeah. Some of it, the pathway were already there. It was a mud road. It was a pop hole, everything. But he developed it. He make it to be functional. Buchanan Fairground Road and other functional road, like in the community. He went into those communities. He went into those places. All these minor roads and major roads. He built them. Yeah. He constructed them. He maintained them. He took them from the deplorable state that they were in. From the state that they were in, that they were now functioning well or properly. He took them from there. And he also secured the funds for the Tapita, Nimba, to Totown Jida corridor. This ex-president did all of that. If you don't know the things that he did, come watch this video. These are things that I got to know that this president did. And I have to talk about it. Yes. And he also expanded the electricity, the LEC, the Liberia Electricity Corporation. He make about 200 and more thousand houses to have electricity in Liberia. And he secured funds for new power plants. Yeah. So that the next person that coming over will take over from there. Yeah. And he made sure that people have current. Even if your current go, there's a way that they do the current. You go, you pay for your current, you get your light. Yeah. Back then, people never had current. People never had light. But he made sure that houses had current.
Ellen says small light today, big light tomorrow.
Park. I talk about it in the other video. You see the beautiful park he built it where people can go to have some recreation. There's a recreation center.
Sister B, hold on there. Hold on there, sis. Thank you. Hold on there. Coming back to you. Let me inject it lest I forget. The Unity Party people that condemn that place, they say all manner of nasty things. Guess what? There where they go. We have the photos. We capture them. Unity Party people at the park amusing themselves. I ain't saying Unity Party officials children. Unity Party officials. Some of the people who condemned the park to the core, they were there amusing themselves. Let me begin. You talk come so we put it on the screen. You'll see. Unity Party officials, some of those who are condemning the park in that day, in that die, in that big day, the man just misusing the country, man, a play ball, that football thing, that they went there to amuse themselves. Sister B, continue, yeah? Sorry, Mama. Sorry for interrupting you. Sorry. I will not do it again.
These are things that I got to know that this president did, and I have to talk about it. Yes. And he also them, yeah. He constructed them, he maintained them. Marco Friends Road, Rehab Road Network, Jamaica Road to Lookington, Doe Community, Banjo. Banjo is where I come from. That's my area.
Yeah, I know.
Road, and I know Banjo Road, how Banjo Road looking. Yeah.
Battle, very battle.
Develop those places. What are you talking?
In
6 years. Yeah. Dry Market to Johnsonville. For those of you that own that side, look there. Those roads, they were built.
Yeah, sorry, I said when I interrupt you, but I'm forced to do it. That George Weah Rowe, regime speaker, riding on with ease. That George Weah handprint, that George Weah footprint, that Banners Way, Dry Market Road, yeah, going all the way to Richard Coon House. That George Weah. The man whom the Unity Party people said nothing, but that the man rode the riding on that George Weah effort, that Richard Coon, every evening Richard Coon ride on that road with ease, no bouncing, nothing, going, enjoying himself, going all the way to his house. That George Weah, The man, they say, did nothing. That the information minister, Jeremy Pia, whole day, did nothing. We have messed the country up. But that's why I say, listen, you don't need the people to tell your story. You don't need them to tell George Weah's story. They are not the only people in the country. This country is made up of 5.4 million or even more than that. Who in this country does not know what George Weah did? That one pitiful small boy sitting down over there with tiny brain, you know, say, George Weah mess country, or then you'll get scared. Barnesville, that Japan freeway going all the way, Ellen started, we are finished going all the way inside. Didn't I tell you people? I know that for a fact because I was here in Ellen's time. Ellen is one of the wickedest presidents we have. When I say wicked, Ellen did nothing whatsoever. People were parking the cars. These same United Party people in Ellen regime, where they were parking the cars in garages on the street. In the morning when the car tire gone, battery gone, they used to be complaining. Some of them, their houses had garage. They built the houses with garage, but they could not take the car there because the roads were bad off. 12 years, Ellen never had time for feeder roads, community roads, for people to drive in. 12 years, Ellen and Joseph Yema Boakai. 12 years, nothing. It was George Weah that went into various communities. That today, United Party people that live in Chicken Soup Factory inside, live in Barnesville inside, living to wherever they can drive in with their cars. They open the security, open their gate, and then the car go inside. It was George Weah who affected, and I will say it this way because the positive affection. It was George Weah who affected garages. The garages, they were vested with George Weah. And George Weah made sure that the rogues were not stealing again. Ellen's time, bikes. Go stand to the junction, you say you're going inside there. They buy and when they begin and finish charging you. When you ask them why you charging like that, they say, look at the road. Look at the road. Taxi, private cars, trucks were not going inside. But you people know these things, then I know, man. Ellington, you are not here in Ellington. Well, if you are not here, then I'm telling you how it was. Honor Ellen, it was bad off. Bad off. That expression messed the country up that PRN all were using it for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That expression should go to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Measure. Let's assume Ellen Johnson Sirleaf initiated development. Measure Ellen Sirleaf development and George Weah and see who will have edge. But as far as I know, because I saw Ellen's administration, Ellen did nothing significant. Nothing in terms of infrastructure. It was the Ellen that said small light today, big light tomorrow. Did that happen? Roads were bad off. 12 years. The people in Gardnersville, they are witnesses. You stay in the traffic. It was George Weah that led the people, that made the people to sleep up to 6:30, 7. The people in Barnesville, just coming from that south, from across everywhere, they were waking up 2:30, 3:30. They're on the road because the road were bad off. To get from where you are to come to Central Monrovia, it was between 4 to 5 hours. Tense traffic jam. So if you were working in town and you want to be at your office later 7 o'clock, then you have to wake up between 2:33. If you came outside, just imagine no light, though. No light. Then people had to contend with rogues. You standing up anywhere. Anybody pass around you, your material gone, or they put nerve to your side. That George Weah, at the various intersection, people can come outside 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, people coming outside, say 5:30 on the road. You can see road because light all over. That because of George Weah, Rachel Kuhn can go home at ease. Rachel Kuhn stay in the banners wherever so long they been in Unity Party. Ask him whether anything they did anything extra on that road. So then those tiny people then sitting over there, you can say George Weah messed the country up. What is the measuring rod they use to reach the conclusion that George Weah messed the country up? There is nothing. The only thing they have is hate for George Weah, against George Weah, because Joseph Yima Boakai is against George Weah. So all of his ministers are against George Weah. And a high low, Satan is against God. All Satan deputies, who they are against? They are against God. Oh man, Sister B, sorry, sorry, Sister B. I beg you, sorry. Even though God said, I'm not sure about Sister B, I will not do it again. I will not interrupt. That's a raw business, because every day you see Rachel Kuhn, you come for the spread, or they take the two lanes. Wah. Rachel Kuhn, he been living on a side for rack of ages. And sometimes when he used to buy redless side, even going redless side, it used to be bad up. That George Weah went all on that side. Rachel Kuhn used to park a car on the field because he could not go there. The roads were bad off. Joseph Yima Boy, Ellen Johnson said he had no time. Then you say, man, mess country, or that the curse on this country here because of your evil heart against George Weah. In life, it's all but fair. Just admit when something, even if you don't like the person, you don't have to like anybody to admit the good that they have done. You don't have to like anybody to say this person has done this for me. This person has done this for our country, and we are thankful. You don't have to like the person. You don't have to love the person. You only need to admit, only admittance. That's all. That we are that road that we call Japan Freeway. Even the people who on that side, if you on that side, just stand on the road by 7:38 or 8:9, you will see him going. They can take the 2 lane because you speak on now. They spread all over. Everywhere, the small chicken soup factory. How they call the other place? All the small area that you help me to name them. All the places that cars never used to go. They begin there. Sometimes you go there, you say you're going inside. Forget it. They begin to tell you, baby, we won't go in there. But begin while you're running now. Why is it the road bar? Look at the road. Let me see. It was 2023, around the 2023, Boakai had not come, or Boakai had taken over, but it was just around the transition period. So I had an engagement. I was asked to go and talk to some young people. So got to the place, and then we got on the bike. We're moving. Oh, just flowing. Then looking around from one end to another, from one end, low left, low right. So while I was going, I said, that all. Because the beginning on the bike, even the other ones, you want to get information, you want to have good conversation with them, use their language. Don't allow you Mr. Diplomat. Allow you just like them. So I said, that all. I said, but you're enjoying coming here, oh, Jay. They did. You're really enjoying here. Look at He said, yeah. He said, every current, every horse here get current. So then I said, yeah, that GMB pull it here. Who say I'm gonna say GMB? Oh, they begin say who GMB? Beg you. He said that the papel. Honestly, if God in heaven were to say angel Gabriel, I will tell you that the conversation, that what he said. He said, oh, that the papa. So I said, but who papa na papa GFB? He said, no. I said, the papa, we are. I said that we are both here. Or the player, you can see how we're moving. The player or no quota. So rack all over. We now used to come inside. He said, people are the papa. You know, when you hear the beginner talking, when they say papa, they're not Job Walker. They're not Job Walker, a Unity Party person. You get it wrong. That's how they can call Job weird. Typically, that's how they can refer to him. So when you anywhere, you hear the beginner saying, oh, that the papa, you think when you Unity Party person and that Job Walker you're talking about, I mean, they're talking about, you may say, oh, that's how they can refer to weird. What a time. Hey, boy, you know, man. Yeah, that's been disrespectful. I'm very disrespectful. Why do you interrupt, boy? No, sorry, sis. I will not do it again. I apologize.
Former president, he developed it. Yeah, some of it, the pathway were already there. It was a mud road, it was a pop hole, everything. But he developed it. He make it to be functional. He cannot fairground road and other functional road, like in the community. He went into those community. He went into those places. All these minor roads and major roads, he built them. Yeah, he constructed them. He maintained them. He took them from the deplorable state that they were in, from the state that they were in, that they were now functioning well or properly. He took them from there, and he also secured the funds for the Tapita, Nimba, to Totan Jida corridor. This ex-president did all of that. If you don't know the things that he did, come watch this video.
Yeah,
these are things.
They say he messed country up,
and I have to talk about it.
Thank you, man, boy.
And he also expanded the electricity, the LEC, the National Electricity Corporation. He make about 200 and more thousand houses to have electricity in Liberia, and he secured funds for new power plants. Yeah, so that the next person that coming over will take over from there. Yeah, and he made sure that people have current. Even if your current go, there's a way that they do the current. You go, you pay for your current, you get your light. Yeah. Back then, people never had current. People never had light. But he made sure that houses have current. The PHP Unification Park, I talked about it in the other video. You see the beautiful park he built it, where people can go to have some recreation. There's a recreation center. He built entertainment place where you can take your kids, you take your family, you go there, you spend time there during the weekends. He built that place. Very beautiful. And somebody was telling me that the PHP place, those houses that around the place he built the park, those houses were in a very bad state, very bad, deplorable condition. It was not even looking like a correct home,
but they were not houses.
Stay.
They were not even houses.
He built it. He make it a comfortable, a decent home for the people that live around that places. He broke it down and he rebuilt it so that around the park there can be beautiful houses that will match up with the beautiful parks that he built. So he built beautiful houses for the people along the way, along the that live around the park. Yes. 14 military hospitals, Emory Hospital, Backbone, Cester Hospital, River Cess, SKD Hospital, 74% he did it is Israel, and other hospitals across the country. He abolished the 20% cuts from the AFL soldier that came from war. Those 20% that they took from on their pay, he abolished it. He constructed a VIP lodge at the RIA. Go and see that lodge. The whole RIA is changed.
I want Bogato as his personal property.
And there's a wonderful VIP lodge that is in that place. He constructed it. And then they have...
say, boy, no, wait, sis B. They VIP launch here. So you'll see there. Listen, here you go. I think the main person who always say we are mess country or we are not coming by that Pierre. I think Pierre just availed himself to be used as a surrogate. Because Pierre worked in Ellen's government at that same information ministry. 12 years, that place was dirty, stink, nasty under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Yema Boakai. Far from anything modernism. Far. Primitive airport it was. Interior airport, RIA was, like under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Yema Boakai. Partners were constrained to manage aid coming in and going out of the country. That George Weah gave it what the Englishmen call metaphysics, meaning new classic identity, representative of an airport, modern airport, that George Weah. That place. Ellen Sadan, yeah, Pierre and Sadan, they know who told you the people. They don't know that their boss, Lady Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, did nothing extra here. Who told you they know? But because Joseph Yema Boakai is against George Weah, so as surrogates, they come on to be ranting against. He did nothing. He did nothing. Tell the people, that's how you convince your listeners, your hearers, your readers, that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf constructed this. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf put up this. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf constructed that. Ellen reference, show it, or show all of those things to people. Then you say, yes, George Weah messed into, George Weah broke the system down. Say, but you can't show anything. You only say George Weah messed the country up. George Weah messed the country up. George Weah messed the country up. You should be a person who is a schizophrenic, suffering from dementia, to be saying that. I should be referencing. That's how we convince people that what they call empirical evidence. So the people look at it and say, yes. That's why they call tangible evidence. That you will not only talk about it, they will be referencing it. What did George Weah, from infrastructure perspective, inherit from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? What did Ellen Johnson Sirleaf do here? What is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf construction? What is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf structure? George Weah changed the dynamics of liability, of putting so much money into individual owners of private property or property. Today, the National Security Agency is standing on its own. Honor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Yema Boakai, hundreds of dollars. Today, the Ministry of Transport is on its own. The Ministry of Transport on Broad Street renting from one Congo woman. 150,000 every year, 200,000 every year. But George Weah, who brought in wisdom, if the government is using or is paying annually 150,000 US, 200,000 US to a given person for the usage of his or her property, where can we use that 150,000 or 250,000 to construct our own and leave renting? That George Weah introduced that. Throughout Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the interim government of Judy Bryant, the late Charles Taylor, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the country was on renting spree. Owners of property. That's how most of those people who have those structures got rich. They were totally dependent on receiving their money. You won't see, look at the aftermath. You had the transport ministry that South River Lee Cinema. Since the people left that place, and you see the building, nothing. Since they left Broad Street Education Ministry, and you see the building, you know how many dollars thousands of thousands, 250, 300,000 annually they were paying to those people. People who had those buildings or who have those buildings, they will go to their friends in government and then they go through the necessary arrangements and say, make sure that the government take this money, take this building and let it be for XYZ, you will get about 10% or 15% or 20%. So maybe you say the building, okay, because of this and that, we'll take the building for 150 and then 10K or 15K will be there for you. Or we'll take it for 175. Persuade the government the need for the 175. Look at the building, all the kind of thing that I was on Ryan from Elling, from Judy Bryant, Charles Taylor, Elling. That George Weah, the coming in of George Weah, he changed the dynamics. That today, look at the buildings that are left. They can't do nothing. Nobody can take those buildings. They're just there, they're decaying. That the man you say, he messed country up. Oh, yes. We can take it as a compliment as long as it was right for the country. Yes. Today, the government is not splashing out money to individual for building. Every building that the government was using and the government left, look at it. Look at that building today. Nobody there. The building in ruin. Did Ellen Johnson Sirleaf ever speak to Joseph Yema Boakai that let us have this plan in place going forward to start constructing our own government building and stop renting from people? Did Joseph Yema Boakai carry that advice to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? No. Did they ever dream of it? No. Who came with that exposure? George Weah. You had the Freeport there. You had the Freeport. You know, let FPRC there. Let NSA. Let NOCAL. You know how many millions NOCAL gave to those Congo people over the years? George Weah look at it and say, well, what is this? What sense does that make? Paying these people, giving 150, 200,000 annually to one person because of a building? How can government run that way? And then he said, no, let's find a land. If it would mean that we pay 25,000 or 30,000 for an ID place, it's better we put that money there, get NOCAL's headquarters, let it be whatever money that will be generated to go to rent, it will be used for other things. Today, NOCAL not paying rent. Its own building. That's what they call development politics. Who introduced that? That George Weah. Yet they will say George Weah messed the country up. Look at NSA. On a Judy Bryant, on a Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, on a Charles Taylor. NSA, look at the money they were giving to those people. Joseph Yema Boakai. And now the NSA, the Justice Ministry, do you know that the Justice Ministry is still renting? The Justice Ministry is just gallivanting from one place to another. They were on 9th Street. From 9th Street, they go on 14th Street. Some president will say, let's start looking for a spot to build the Ministry of Justice. Those guys, those ladies got rich from government. You go to Ministry of Transport, Broad Street, Side Rivoli, You see the woman who get a place, you'll be sitting down in front of the door there. Nobody can take that place again. They're just there now. They were using the government. That's why they did not want the government to build anything. These people, they just go, oh, my president, oh, yeah. Judge Yaloka, he said no. The government must have its own building. You leave this country. You go Senegal. Almost every building, you don't see the government renting. Least to talk about those other advanced European countries, North-South African countries. You don't see the people renting. They construct. That's what they call development. Let's do it here in Liberia. And that's how you start seeing all those constructions going on. The government today is paying less. You see the idea of the ministerial complex? I think the only ministry that is renting, I think are justice. Oh, got justice. They're justice own place there. So they say really, they got to look at it. You know how many millions of dollars, George, we are saved for this country? Then you have those misguided people sitting over there, they may mess country up. You know how many millions Ellen Johnson Sirleaf gave to men and women, owners of property in this country over the years, those 12 years? Imagine, just multiply 250,000 United States dollars annually by 12. Say how much? Say millions of dollars that went into those people. Right there, where the Ministry of Education was, Test Street, Yeah, Test Street, right? When you pass City Hall, a little, right there, that building. I think I heard they were renting that place for $150 annually. That building. It came a time the Ministry of Education, according to my informants, that the minister said the money was too much, they could not afford it. When the ministerial complex was nearing completion, they opted to go on that side. Look at the building today. It's there. You look at the building when you're going single, just around the Test Street area. That Test Street there. And when you pass City Hall, small. When you go in single, it's on your left. When you're coming from single, it's on your right. That green building. What becomes of it? It's just they're sitting there in ruin. They can maintain it because they're not getting the 150, 200,000 again. You say how much money, George, we are saved for the country and how he exposed the country. Then you get a bunch of small children in Kosu who can reason better on the basis of hate, saying the man messed the country or the man messed. How can a person mess a country up when the person exposed the country to development politics? That the country has a new look. Look at your airport. People come there. The white man coming in, the brown man, all of the skins coming in, they feel comfortable. They know that they are in airport or they're passing through airport. They feel they're in their own country airport. Why Bouaga and Ellen didn't modernize that airport? I see you, man. When a hateful people, when a set on incarnate will not admit. You don't have to like a person to admit what the person has done. Then you're sitting here, your rude selves saying the people must praise you because they suspended you. The people verse say they're celebrating. The people will celebrate, yes. The people ready to celebrate because yesterday you did nothing. Then you came, you say we did nothing. The people suspended you. They visiting, then you get invest while the opposition celebrating. The country can only celebrate evil. Yeah, yesterday you were celebrating good. When they sanction McGill. In fact, it was the Unity Party people who were all over the place announcing sanction coming for certain government officials. Then the American people, too, less than no time they came. They were on a given radio station here. They announced it. When that announcement went, Unity Party people were all over jubilating. Today, you want anybody to jubilate me? I can tell anybody in the opposition, anything against Unity Party, celebrate it. Be happy. There is nothing in this country called patriotism and nationalism. Who introduced that kind of unpatriotic, unnationalistic politics? The very Unity Party people. It's not a sin. It's not a crime. It's not a violation. God not going to hold you because God in heaven himself. That's what God say. God said, if you want anybody to mock, to celebrate against your downfall, don't undermine them and celebrate their downfall, because that way you will be sowing a seed. That seed, you will reap it. Unity Party is sowing the seed that they sow. They're reaping the seed that they sow. The seed of hate, the seed of grudge, the seed of malice, the seed of undermining, the seed of celebrating evil against George Weah. You celebrate, it's not a crime. They can do nothing to you. It's not a crime under the laws of Liberia. Anything about any sin Unity Party, 2023, 2024, in 2025, and they say they were celebrating, they say George Weah died. And they said they want George Weah to go. And they were painting all kind of things. Or they said George Weah sick, George Weah on bed. And now they see Unity Party people say George Weah should die in plane. Then Unity Party people. Then you must feel, you must sit down there, your enemy should be coming to you to take you off the earth. And then you sit down there, you say you Christian Cole. And see whether God will go in defense of you. I see you. Join us this evening at 6 o'clock, please, for the news. King's Newsroom at 6 o'clock. At 6:50, Isiaka Sharif and Josephine Pello Johnson are in with CDC Hour. And then at 8 o'clock, the man himself is in. Okay. Yeah. So if God permits, we're back tomorrow, meaning next week. The show recess for this week and return afresh on next week, if God permits. I'm Sam Andrews. Shalom.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you. From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you. Yeah, man.